Asinia, Lukata, Chikuyu. Baba, Asinia, Lukata, Chikuyu. Baba, father, a teacher. He's all of that. The people injustice agitator. He's an agitator. Same thing as an activist. Same thing as an activist. He's an agitator, he's an activist. And he says, respect. Find out what it means to you. Baba Lukata is so proud of the respect that he has earned within the new African conscious community. He has earned the respect. More than any other reward he might get for his work raising black consciousness, being respected throughout the conscious community for his efforts is his greatest satisfaction within the black consciousness movement. Short of ultimate victory celebration, black sovereignty. Respect and victory is his two main goals. As the people agitator, Baba Lukata is proud of his efforts as a citizen worker of the Republic of New Africa. His graphic design skills that he uses to express black pride and optimism for the black future. He worked for you. His work nationally marketing African art gallery out of the MedgarEversville. I'm sure y'all know where that is. Some people call it Jackson, Mississippi. We call it MedgarEversville. His effort to help redefine black manhood. His work on and off the National Board of COBRA. His local efforts to organize the MedgarEversville District Council of the RNA. His involvement with the founding of the Respect Our Black Dollars movement. His involvement with founding of the Respect Our Black Dollars movement. His membership with the founding committee of the Jackson Community Kwanzaa. His efforts as chief editor of the As We Build newsletter for the MedgarEversville District Council. His work as a producer and co-host of TV show Harambe for Reparations, and his lectures on our story, not his story, our story, and tours throughout the national territory, Mississippi and Alabama, is what garnered him respect he has earned and cherished. In on one of his tours, he takes us all over Mississippi and shows off of historical places. RESPECT, find out what it means to me, is how Aretha Franklin sang it, and how Baba Lukata assesses it for himself. His work with the conscious New African community, he believes, has earned the respect shown to him by culturally conscious black folks. And while he gives humble thanks to all who have shown him respect for his consciousness-raising efforts, he continues the people injustice agitator. He has also given thanks to our revered ancestors and his personal ancestors for the inspiration to do the people's work. RESPECT. Find out what it means to you. Mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, may I present Baba Asinia Lukata Chikuyu. People is agitated. Thank you, man.
Free the land.
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 By any means necessary. Mama, with your permission, may I speak?
You may speak.
Asante. I identify myself as a teacher, so let me start off by giving a lesson. Pass that over behind you, if you mind. It is so important. It is so important that we make sure that we know is all about. Who's been a part of this fight for the time period that we've been involved in this fight? So, let me just let you all tell me who these folks are. Okay, on the female side, the first one, Maya Angelou. Mother number 2. Don't give them all now. Let somebody else have it. What numbers Rosa Parks? Number 3, okay.
Ida B. Wells.
What numbers Ida B. Wells? Number 4.
That is poet.
5 is Shirley Chisholm. 6 is Angela Davis.
Ida B. Wells is
Number
number 9.
9. Who's number 7?
Okay, that's
Francis Cress Wesson is number 10.
Very good. She must own a bookstore.
Fred Hampton is number 6.
On the male side.
Oh,
Mary McLeod Bethune is number 13.
She sure is. She must own a bookstore.
oh, yeah.
Malcolm X.
Carter G. Woodson is
It sure is. Somebody identified number 12 in the female side.
Oh, I can't think her name. I know who she is.
It is.
I saw she
Number 12 is our. You just passed about 2 years ago.
Yes, yes. Somebody identified it.
Langston
Oh, they
Hughes
did.
is number
But-
12. Isn't that Langston Hughes down there?
It is.
Where?
All right.
Oh,
Number 5 is Robert Williams.
Number 4 is Kwame.
It is.
Kwame Nkrumah.
Uh-huh.
What's we know number 1, Malcolm X.
Frederick Douglass.
It
Number
is.
5
Jim Brown,
is
number 6.
No. No.
that's Fred.
No.
That's
Fred
Fred
Hampton.
What's the brother name?
Is that Major number 7?
First president of Republic of New Africa. Number 5. Yes,
Henry.
What's his name? Robert Williams. Robert Williams.
But number 11 is. It looks like Amar. Looks like a young Amar, but is that his brother?
It is.
That's his brother. Henry.
Gaidi.
That's Gaidi.
That's Gaidi.
Number 8, Marcus Garvey. Number 10, Frederick Douglass.
And
Number 7, Medgar Evers.
Huey Newton, number 3.
All right, let's go through them.
13.
Let's go through them from the females, going with number 1, Maya Angelou. Number 2, Queen Mother Moore. Number 3, Rosa Parks. Number 4,
Have it too.
Harriet Tubman. I didn't hear anybody call that name.
Have it too.
Okay, number 5, Shirley Chisholm. Number 6, Angela Davis. Number 7, that's the
Who is
first
that?
lady of the Republic of New Africa.
Oh, Robert Williams' wife.
Yeah, Mabel Williams.
Mabel Williams. Okay.
Number 8,
Annie Lou Hampton.
Sick and Tired, right? All right, number 9, number 10, Dr. Francis Wilson. Number 11, Asana Shakur. Number 12, Fulani Ali. And number 13,
On my,
Mary McLeod Bethune. On the male side, Malcolm X, Haj Malik El-Shabazz. Number 2, Carter G. Woodson. Carter G. Number 3, Bob Marley. Number 4, Kwame Nkrumah. Number 5, Robert Williams. Number 6, Fred Hampton. 7, Medgar Evers. 8, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. Number 9, President Dr. Obadiah. Number 10, Frederick Douglass. Number 11, Gaidi Obadiah. Number 12, Langston Hughes. And number 13, Huey P. Newton.
Louisiana boy. and Fred. Fred is buried not too far from here. One day I'll make it there.
Now it's important that we understand who these individuals are and the work that they did in order for us to even be able to sit in this room, among other things. And so when we can't identify them, our children can't identify them. So that's why we have to be able to put these kind of worksheets together, because they're not going to get them in the educational system that they're in, whether it be a private one or a public one, and even in some of the quote-unquote Afrocentric schools, they're not going to get this. So we need to have these types of lessons in these types of environments. So we need to have volunteers who put these worksheets together and say, come on down, let's have a half an hour session on identifying our heroes, our sheroes. This is self-determination.
Yes, it is.
To name ourselves, to define ourselves, to speak for ourselves, and not have it done for us by somebody else. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. And we have to do more of this. We have to be able to understand the ABCs. We have to be able to understand the ABCs of reparations. So I'm going to ask you all to help me. I'm going to ask you all to help me to identify the ABCs of reparations. So who has A? Tell me what A is. Speak up. Come on now. Shane. Show it off. Okay, A is for Africa, the motherland. Who has B?
B, brains.
Brains.
Okay.
If you want to be free, you need some intellect. Check out the image. Where's the key? Where's the key to freedom? Right here. Who has C? Cultural connection. Connectivity. Cultural connectivity. We are not connected. The reason why these clothes are sitting here and not moving, because we ain't connected to it. We got to be connected to it. We need cultural connectivity. We need to know that we came out of Africa. See that cultural connectivity? We need to see that cultural connectivity. Who's got D?
Determination.
Determination. Determination. What is it?
We will know freedom.
We will know freedom.
Determination to repair ourselves will be reflected in the application of our best effort to produce the desired outcome.
Desired outcomes. Who's got E? Read it. What is it?
Economics 101.
Economics 101. All right? Buy black.
Yeah.
Economics 101. Buy black. Build more black-owned institutions. Not colored-owned institutions, but black-owned institutions. And I have to say that because when we think about these HBCUs, they don't belong to us. They won't let us on the campus. They won't let us on the campus. They won't bring cultural consciousness onto the campus. So they don't belong to us. We left out E, who has F? Which one you have, Mom?
Functional unity.
Functional unity. Functional unity. I need to stop right there and give you a story. I gave you all a copy of an old newsletter from COBRA. Yeah, man. I gave you all a copy of this. All right? Let me tell you a quick story about this when we talk about functional unity. I had been assigned as the commissioner or chair of the media commission. So I took over. I wasn't the first. I just took over doing this. And at the time, I was working at Jackson State University, at one of them HBCUs. So I used my connection there in order to circulate hard copies of this to members of the members who were members of COBRA nationally. What happened is one of the board members for COBRA decided that I was putting the board at risk because he was afraid that the federal government, the FBI, would find out that I was using Jackson State's mailing system in order to circulate propaganda. So that board member threatened me, threatened to put me in jail for putting the organization at risk in order to get me off the board. Also in order to remove the chair so that he could become the chair. So that's not how functional unity works. Now, we all were on the same mission, winning reparations. But we had alternative motives to the work that we were trying to do. So when we say functional unity, we have to understand that it's more than just saying black power. Okay. It's more than just saying free the land. It's freeing your mind. So your ass can follow. Who got, come out there, G.
Greatness. Adinkra-hini?
Yes.
Adinkra-hini meaning greatness. This is chief of the Adinkra symbols. West Africa Adinkra symbols of greatness, charisma, and leadership. This symbol is said to have played an inspiring role in the designing of other symbols. It signifies the importance of playing a leadership role. Greatness.
The Adinkra symbol.
The Adinkra symbol.
For leadership.
And we can find Adinkra symbols on a lot of these African clothes.
H.
I like to play on words. Holocaust.
You know, I had a conversation with a brother over in MedgarEversville. He come into the shop that we have over there, and he saw a book called "The Black Holocaust for Beginners." Black Holocaust for Beginners was the book that he saw, and he said that's about Jews. He said Holocaust belonged to the Jews, and so I said, okay, you can let the Jews have that. Give it to them. I didn't want to argue with him. I said, let the Jews have that. I said, know what we had? We had a Holocaust. Holocaust. And you know who gave us that? Queen Mother Moore. Did you know that? Queen Mother Moore was the one who gave us Holocaust. Because they were arguing with her the same way. You know, that belonged to the Jews. And the Jews will tell you that's theirs. So let them have it. They had a Holocaust. We done had a Holocaust and it's still going.
Holocaust is synonymous with the term life, which is a Swahili term for terrible occurrence or great disaster. It refers to the Black Holocaust, where millions of Africans died during the journey of captivity from the west coast of Africa to the shores of America and throughout the diaspora known as the Middle Passage. The term refers to the 500 years of suffering of people of African heritage through enslavement, imperialism, colonialism, apartheid, rape, oppression, invasion, and exploitation.
Holocaust.
H started with H-E-L-L, and everybody knows what hell means.
Holocaust. That's what we've been through. And still going through. Still going through. H-I? Oh.
Internal repair.
Internal repair. Right? Learning to love ourselves. Learning to love each other. Internal repair. Right? I heard it come up again earlier, internal reparations. Internal repair. What you got, brother?
G for justice.
Okay. What are we saying about justice?
It says justice should be synonymous with fairness. However, for people of African descent, they seem to be detrimental opposers. New Africans and Black Africans, we must redefine justice as we work to repair and healing ourselves. Reparations for Black people of African descent is the only form of fairness that can atone for the inhumanity of white supremacy, rule, enslavement, imperialism, colonialism, apartheid, oppression, and exploitation. Further, we must not be further fooled by false promises of justice forthcoming. Our demand for justice must be unequivocally unapologetic.
Unapologetic.
Well said.
What you got, sister?
Okay, Kujichagulia. That's what we're talking about. To define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves.
Yes, Kujichagulia, self-determination. Okay? So that's what we got, that's where we are. That's what we gotta be doing. Define ourselves, name ourselves, think for ourselves, speak for ourselves, and not have somebody else do that for us. K, what comes after K? L?
L for love of self.
Love of self.
Really, by describing yourself as black, you started on the road towards emancipation. You have committed yourself to fight against all forces that seek to use blackness as a stamp that marks you out as a subservient being.
All right. Love yourself, and you don't have to be subservient to anybody.
Movement. The American reparations movement must be focused on the repair of new Africans. We must heal ourselves educationally from a health and wellness perspective, economically relevant to America's judicial, criminal, injustice system, and with regards to our ancestral, cultural, peoplehood, nationhood. Our healing and repair must be of our own doing. Those guilty of injuring us must provide the redress, but we must medicine and dress the wounds for healing.
Okay? That should be medicate, but it says medicine.
Okay,
But it should be, we must medicate our own wounds, because they don't know how.
that's right.
They don't know how. We must medicate our own wounds. And it has to be a movement. Can't be a moment. It has to be a movement. N. Nia. Nia. Purpose.
Our purpose within the reparation movement must be to repair and heal, and healing our injuries resulting from our Holocaust mafia. We must assume the responsibility for our healing and repair, while the guilty party provides the readiness.
All right, so our purpose is to heal ourselves. And we get the resources to do that from those who are guilty of our Holocaust. Oh.
Operational unity. We gotta learn them to work together. Operational unity is the ability of new Africans to work together in a focused manner on the goal of Black empowerment, national agenda, objectives to strategies, organization, mobilization, and related issues without having to compromise their principal belief of those issues where there may be agreement or disagreements. Ultimately, the work must advance the interests of the people of African descent toward freedom, justice, and equality. And this symbol of the crocodile with the one stomach. And so there's tribalism and because I hear this on infighting and tribalism is harmful to us on both sides of the water.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. MNOP.
People power.
People power.
Okay.
People power.
We are obligated to fight for justice due to the American way of applying justice to us. We simply have to realize that we have the power to change our living situation and circumstances in America and impact the circumstances of our African Americans throughout the diaspora. We can have healing ourselves. People power. I understand
People
that.
power. Again, we think about power, and too many times we think about either economics or we think about politics. But economics and politics are centered around people. People outweigh economics and politics. But power is a combination of all three. So we have to understand political power, we have to understand economic power, but then we certainly have to know how to use people power. PQ?
Quality of life.
Quality of life.
Public welfare is the provision of a free minimum level of well-being and social support. Includes services such as food, housing, and health care for citizens, which in America has a black mother as identity. Sadly, too many new Africans have developed a sense of complacency with free minimum